Welcome to the channel and welcome to another video. So today we're going to talk about Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance. Now, why are we going to talk about it? I think it's relevant because I came across this video, and as you could see on the screen, it says Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance dissertation. Now, obviously, there's certain things that we see on television, and sometimes you have people take one interpretation away from it. Other times, somebody looking at the same thing will have a completely different interpretation. And Kendrick is known for double, triple, quite possibly quadruple entendres. Now, an entendre is a simple way, well, not a simple way, simply put, is a phrase that can be interpreted in multiple ways. Right? Now, either way that is interpreted could be correct, but since you're not the person using it, you don't know exactly what it means, right? But if you interpret it in that way, the person using it could agree that, yeah, that's one of the meanings. There's layers to it, essentially. I hope I didn't make it too complicated. So let's take, for example, the chain that he wore. Right, it's the lowercase a, right? It could be A for Aubrey, right? That's Drake's real name. It could also represent PG Lang. Now, if you know about the song, it could also be for that A minor. Maybe, I don't know. Although I don't think he would be using it in that way. But that's a possible interpretation. Maybe if you don't like him, maybe you might use that one. But for using the A for Aubrey as well as for PG Lang, him having it around his neck, like he's taken Drake's career along with his image, everything about him. But I want you to listen to this because there's so many Easter eggs, right? And I know how the public likes Easter eggs to find out things that they didn't see or things that they probably missed. And I think that's why this video is relevant. So without further ado, I'm your host. I'm King Lucian, or just Lucian. And I'm going to show you this video and then give you my thoughts afterwards. So without further ado, let's go.
Already did the full thing. Let me tell you guys what I have uncovered about this insane fucking performance. So to lay the groundwork, this whole performance is Kendrick Lamar playing a video game. And right here we have the X, the square, the circle, and the triangle, which is the 4 buttons and a PlayStation control remote. And it starts off with him selecting the square. Then Uncle Sam tells everybody that this is the great American game. Obviously, Uncle Sam is a symbol of American power structure, and this is alluding to the fact that America is like a game, and some of us are winners and losers, some of us rig the system.
Now that part is quite possibly true. Football is considered the great American game, but also he could be talking about the game of life, right? People pursuing the American dream. So that part right there, I thought about it. Yeah, that's quite possibly true.
Some of us cheat, but at the end of the day, we're all in this American game. And Kendrick Lamar is trying to beat the game, trying to fight the system. Then inside of the square, Kendrick Lamar starts singing on top of this GNX car, which in the 1980s represented power and rebellion. Then out of the car that represents defiance comes out a whole bunch of people dressed in red, white, and blue. These people not only represent the American people, but it also represents different aspects of our society. The red could be the conservatives, the blue could be the liberal, and the white is the elite, wealthy individuals, because clothing, historically, white has been associated with rich people just because it's always cost more to maintain white clothing because it can get stained more and it just requires higher maintenance. There's only one time in the entire performance where Kendrick Lamar mentions the word government, and it was in his first song. And in that exact moment that he says government, a white dressed person shakes hand with a red dressed person, which symbolizes wealthy elites shaking hands and making deals with the conservative power structure in America.
Now that part, I'll be honest, I didn't catch that part, but like I said, if you have it recorded and you caught this part, it could very well be. Right? It could very well be, but let's be honest. White was also, for time immemorial, I would say thousands of years, considered a sign of purity. So could it be a sign of, whatever that red represents, getting, to the people that try to remain pure, the people that try to remain outside of the whole red and blue dynamic, and, pulling them in? It could be either one.
America. Corruption. Then he goes on to say that the revolution is about...
That part I agree with. Either way, it would be a corruption. Either way.
...to be televised. Y'all chose the right place but the wrong guy. Which basically means that the United States is long overdue for a revolution. That we deserve change, right? But we chose the wrong guy, meaning that the change and the person that is leading the change and the direction of that change is wrong. We need change, but not that kind of change. We need a revolution, just not that kind of revolution. And obviously, it's going to be televised because of the technology that exists currently. This is directly towards Donald Trump and Elon Musk. After mentioning that,
That part, I'm also not sure about, because I thought when he said y'all chose the wrong guy, he was talking about himself, right? Because essentially, prior to this battle, Drake was supposedly the right guy, right? The face of hip-hop, the face of success in hip-hop, but he got taken down by Kendrick, and Kendrick is now getting all these accolades because of it, so essentially making him a replacement for Drake. But unlike Drake, Kendrick is coming from more of a grassroots movement, the West Coast, right? He has a lot of support, and I don't think that he's necessarily being propped up by the music industry as Drake was. Don't forget, Drake came from doing a TV show, Degrassi, right? This guy was an industry darling before stepping his foot into hip-hop. So he already had ties to the entertainment industry. We are talking about two coming from completely different backgrounds. So if now Kendrick is going to take over, I don't think he's going to allow himself to be corrupted or manipulated or puppeteered in the way that Drake could possibly be. This is my thoughts on it, right? I don't know that to be absolutely true, but that was my take on it when he said you picked the wrong guy.
He starts singing Squabble Up, which pretty much is a song about standing your ground and standing up and fighting back. Then Uncle Sam comes back to the picture, which, remember, he's the one that's controlling the game, says that Kendrick Lamar is playing the game too loud, that he is being too reckless, that he's being ghetto, that he needs to, calm down. And this is something that the power structure in America has used historically to control marginalized voices and make society believe that these people shouldn't be heard because they're too reckless and they're too disruptive. I'm literally getting chills. Okay, so after Uncle Sam says that, Kendrick Lamar is now standing in between a split American flag, which pretty much says that that kind of rhetoric that Uncle Sam is spewing is divisive to the country. And he does this singing the song Humble, which is basically saying to the power structure in America to sit down and reflect on the division that they're causing in our country and to be more humble. Okay, so then now we're under a street light where he's speaking out against the system, right? And this symbolizes Americans going to the streets and voicing their concerns and their opinions. And Uncle Sam comes back and says, Keeper, take a life.
Keeper, deduct one life.
That speaks for itself, right? You're trying to instill fear into people so they can stop speaking up by committing acts of violence against these marginalized groups that are voicing their concerns and speaking out against the system. But we officially left the square and now we're inside the X, where Kendrick Lamar starts to sing the song Peekaboo. Within video games, the X symbol on the PlayStation remote means to confirm something. So by singing the song Peekaboo inside the X, this basically means that Kendrick is choosing to reveal unhidden truths about people, about society, about our political structure that exists currently. And he uses this moment to tease They Not Like Us.
I want to perform their favorite song, which you know they love, is Super. What song? Yeah, that song.
He like teases it again. That
Now that part I thought was, after listening to this, I thought that was pretty accurate. I'll just say that I thought, it could be, of course, yes, the X means yes, right, acceptance, and peekaboo was that whatever he's opening the curtain and looking at, or whatever he's choosing to reveal, or whatever he has accepted to reveal, it is in fact true. Now, I'm not saying anything regarding any allegations or any supposed videotapes that are out there of a person who will remain unnamed, but it's quite possibly that.
That is uncovering truths, right? That song was a diss track against Drake. But this is beyond just the Drake diss track. It goes to the larger message of uncovering deeper truths. Then we move on to the triangle. In a video game, the triangle is the direction you want to go. So, and in the triangle is SZA, who is singing the song Luther. I first gotta say she a bad bitch, but this song right here is about moving towards the direction of pursuing love and social change, and she's doing this within the triangle, which makes perfect sense. Now we have people marching down the street, which obviously...
But don't forget the triangle pointed upwards like this is also a symbol of femininity, right? But that's more of an occult meaning. But that, and obviously the reverse of it, the triangle pointing downwards, is masculine. You put those two together, you get the Star of David. Just, something to be aware of, right? You put two triangles together, one, superimpose one above the other, you get a 6-pointed star, essentially. Just, like I said, multiple entendres. There's double meanings to a lot of these things, but her being inside the triangle, femininity, right? That's why she was inside of it. That's why that's where she started from.
Represents peaceful protest, but they're also marching around the circle. The circle inside of a PlayStation remote represents rejection or cancellation. Inside the circle, Kendrick starts singing the song All the Stars, where he talks about how confrontation ain't something new to him and how he will always fight back even though people try to attack him. This is done within the circle, which is, again, rejection. He is rejecting people trying to diminish him. He's rejecting...
Yeah, say word, this person in white, right to the right of him on my screen. That looks like IShowSpeed. I don't think it is, but it kind of looks like him.
People trying to shut him up. He is fighting back. But this is a soft song. He's not yelling, he's not being aggressive, he's not speaking loud. It is a soft-spoken song. In many ways, you can say that this song is like a peaceful protest because it's so soft. And then Uncle Sam is so happy because they're being so calm, they're being so soft, even though they're talking about these like really important issues that are degrading them and diminishing them. They're doing it peacefully, they're doing it softly. So Uncle Sam is happy. He's saying how he's glad that they're calm. But then he gets mad because Kendrick then changes his tone and loudly stated how you can try to rig the system, but you can't fake influence, which basically means that no matter how many times wealthy people have tried to rig the system in their favor, they could never truly win real loyalty and real support. And now you can...
That part, I will concede that is a good point, right? Because the people at the top, they have the money and the power creates influence. They don't necessarily have it of their own doing. It's because of how much they have, what they spend, whether it's in advertising of their products, whatever it is. And that goes for all the top brands, whether it's Louis Vuitton, Dior, Chanel, whatever brand it is. These people have not, yes, the brands are actually very good high-end brands, but let's be honest, the price attached to it is because of the name as well as the length of time that they've been around. The people who own these things are filthy rich, right? And they give them to certain people of influence to wear them and say, hey, you go out there and wear this, you don't even have to pay for this outfit. And because people like you, they're then gonna buy it. It's true. It is absolutely true. There is nothing about having a full, let's say, Fendi suit on that attracts me. Absolutely. I would wear a pair of light blue jeans, a t-shirt, and I don't know, some regular jacket, maybe a polo jacket or Tommy jacket, or I don't know, whatever. I would not necessarily wear something that costs thousands of dollars, but because there are people of influence that will wear it, some Beyonce, a Taylor Swift, or a maybe let's put Kendrick in there, right? A person of real influence, Kendrick, Drake, right? Future, right? These guys have massive followings, they have massive audiences. Taylor Swift has the Swifties, so if she endorses something, it's guaranteed that it's going to sell. Now, whatever the price point is, among those followers that are under influence, they're going to purchase it. And even the younger ones, let's say they come from wealthy parents, they're going to get their parents to purchase it for them. That is truly how it goes. Although it could have been aimed at Drake too. Like, all the influence he had was, really from UMG, not of his own. But I'd say in his case, maybe he did have a carryover from his days at Degrassi. I think it was sustained by the music industry, right? Because his initial coming in, he was alright. Yeah, he's okay.
You can see that there are people occupying each symbol of the game: the circle, the triangle, the X, and the square. Which basically means that in order to beat the game, we all need to occupy these spaces. And he ends the performance with a call to action by telling you to turn off the TV and disconnect from the propaganda and the brainwashing that occurs through the mainstream media as they influence you through the power structures that influence the media. Insane.
So, like I said, I thought this was a really good take, a really good breakdown of what this person saw for themselves. Right now, a lot of times, like I said, you will see something and one person will have one interpretation, another person sees it, their interpretation will be completely different. But if whatever was presented had multiple entendres intended, whatever you saw, it could be that. Whatever answer you came up with, or if you just watched and didn't, enjoyed it as entertainment, that's also fine. But the Super Bowl is known to have multiple entendres. Now, Kendrick and his team, PG Lang, they prepared that themselves. Right? The choreography, rehearsal, stage, etc. Those things were done to their specifications. Now, Kendrick is known for multiple entendres. Is it really his doing? Is that what he wanted? Is this person on screen accurate? What do you think? But I think it's a really good take. I think it's a really good breakdown, and I appreciate being able to see this and go back and look at it and think to myself, yeah, that does sound pretty accurate. From if a person was looking at it to see what kind of Easter eggs are being presented, I think this is a good take. Obviously, this is from TikTok. This video that I'm making here is going to be considerably longer than the 10 minutes that they allow, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless, and my take as well. Obviously, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more, and I will see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.